Hello everyone, and thank you for taking the time to view our video. This video is to introduce unfamiliar viewers to the iPhone family, and specifically the iPhone 4, which is the 4th generation Apple iPhone. We hope you enjoy. The original iPhone was announced on January 9, 2007. It is said that upon its release in June of that same year, this highly innovative device instantly became the leader of the pack, obsoleting all the other smartphones on the market. Although many of the features in the iPhone 2G had quite honestly been done before, it seemed that Apple simply did them better. Let's take a quick glance at some of the features that made the iPhone so groundbreaking. Apple made touch the primary interaction of the device. The user interface of this handset was built to collaborate seamlessly with its multi-touch screen. This included a virtual keyboard that could be typed on with your fingers. This was perfect for texting, sending emails. Although other devices in this market had similar interfaces, none were as natural and intuitive as the iPhone. Apple also implemented a revolutionary web browser into their device. Safari was the first mobile web browser that was very close, if not equal, to a desktop computer browser. Most operating systems of this time changed the look and feel of the internet when on mobile devices, and left us with generic-looking web pages and a subpar browsing experience. Safari, on the other hand, offered full internet access along with the pinch to zoom and scrolling features that were unmatched at that time. Upon the inclusion of the widescreen iPod into the iPhone 2G, Apple decided it was time to expand their iTunes music store and made the service available to their iPhone customers. You could now download music directly to your phone without having to be connected to your computer. iTunes now makes it possible to download music, movies, TV shows, and books. Visual voicemail has got to be the best thing that could have ever happened to the voicemail box. Now, instead of having to call your voicemail, key in a password, go through a plethora of automated prompts, and then listen to all your voice messages before you actually get to the one you really want to hear, all you have to do is click your voicemail icon to open the app. Pick the message you want to hear and click it. The message will play, and it only took a few seconds as opposed to a few minutes. Some third-party apps like Email will translate the voicemails to text, which saves even more time. The App Store was brought to us in conjunction to iOS 2, the updated iPhone operating system that was launched in 2008. Both were released to coincide with the updated version of the iPhone, which was deemed the iPhone 3G. The App Store was located within iTunes and allowed users to download third-party apps to their devices. These apps included software, games, and utilities developed solely for the iPhone. Today, the App Store has over 1 million apps available for download, ranging in multiple categories such as education, finance, and health and fitness. Apple was not the first to create the third-party app, and upon its unveiling of the App Store, third-party apps were hardly new. But with its system for developing, browsing, and installing them, it seemed as though the third-party app was an Apple invention. Again, Apple just did it better than the rest. Here we have a chart of comparison between the original iPhone and 5 of its successors. Now, some would say that the slight upgrades between the 2G and the 3GS are hardly worth a mention, but I would have to disagree. Apple has refused to compete on specs, but has chosen to concentrate on creating a solid sound device. They are focused on getting the core experience down pat. Over the last 7 years, Apple has continued to develop and reinvent their coveted devices. They have added new and innovative features, into the phones, such as GPS, larger megapixel cameras, and later on, dual cameras. And who can forget about Siri? Siri is an intelligent personal assistant and knowledge navigator. The application works as a natural language user interface. She can answer questions, set your alarm, set appointments, send texts and emails. Overall, she just makes life simpler. iPhone users make up 42% of the smartphone user population in the United States. With this being said, it is clear that iPhone offers a little something for everyone. The casual cell phone user who simply enjoys keeping up with friends and family can utilize FaceTime, messages, and the phone apps to stay up to date with everything happening within their circle, while the student or successful business person can view and edit documents with the Pages, Numbers, and Keynote apps, all while away from a traditional laptop or PC. Anyone who has the basic need or desire to stay connected with the world around them should own an iPhone. The technology of this device makes it very easy to use straight out of the box. As we take a quick look at this iPhone 4 advertisement, we cannot help but agree with the slogan. iPhone 4 was something like the second coming. The handset, unlike its predecessors, had been almost totally revamped. The multi-touch screen, while still 3.5 inches, was now capable of 960 by 640 resolution, which is the first ever resolution upgrade on this device. This is what Apple referred to as their Retina display. They added dual microphones for noise cancellation purposes and increased the RAM from 250 megabytes to 512 megabytes. The new look of the fourth generation handset was very sleek. It was made of stainless steel and glass and was thin, but weighed the same 4.8 ounces as the third generation model. There are still some familiar buttons and ports here though, like the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, the sleep wake button, the speaker, 30-pin dock connector, the volume up and down buttons, and the ring silent switch. In this version of the iPhone, Apple really stepped up their game when it came to the iPhone 4's internal specs, most notably by including the Apple A4 system on chip. Users have said the new processor chip feels snappy and transitions with a smoothness that outdoes the already impressive iPhone 3GS. Apple also installed a larger 1420 milliamp battery, which means even with the Retina display, Apple was still able to increase battery life. The new battery is 14% larger than the previous 3GS and allows for up to 7 hours talk time on 3G, 14 hours on 2G, and 300 hours on standby. Internet is rated at 6 hours on 3G and 10 hours on Wi-Fi. Video playback is said to be around 10 hours, while audio reaches 40 hours. Apple also added a 3-axis gyroscope with pitch, roll, and yaw, as well as rotation around gravity to the iPhone 4. This, coupled with the accelerometer and compass from the previous iPhone model, creates a 6-axis motion detector. This motion detection provided precision control that was ahead of the rest in terms of mobile gaming. Although iPhone has always had a popular camera, some would say that it was not one of high quality. That all seemed to change with the fourth generation iPhone. It boasted 2 cameras a rear 5 megapixel camera with 720p video, as well as a front-facing 2 megapixel VGA quality camera. They also added a 1.75 megapixel LED light for flash purposes. As stated before, Apple's focus is on getting the user experience right. So even though Android and Windows were competing for the largest megapixels, Apple went with a more modest pixel increase, but increased the size and quality of the sensor, and at the same time added back the illumination. This means that each pixel is bigger, but better at absorbing light, which makes for better pictures, especially in dim lighting. This was one of the best cell phone cameras we had seen at that time. The front-facing camera was not only a great way to take self-portraits, also known as selfies, but also to utilize the new video calling application that Apple launched in the iPhone 4 model. Now, by no means did Apple invent video calling. Nokia has been doing this for a while, but they were using a third-party app. FaceTime is a first-party app, which ultimately means it is easy to use. Apple has made connecting with friends and family a breeze. Simply pick a contact from your contact list that you know is using Apple products, and then click the FaceTime button. That's it. You're now video calling. Is the iPhone the perfect device? Not at all. The iPhone, like others, have had issues in the past, but they have gone on to create popular line handsets with innovative features, like the iPhone 5S. The Apple iPhone will always be ahead of the game as long as they maintain their position on not competing on specs. They should continue to focus on their customers' experience, and they will remain highly innovative and coveted.